Good evening, everyone, or maybe it's good morning. Anyway, this is Mr. Lowe. We're going to go ahead and take a good look at lesson 8-6. So you guys today are going to work through problems very similar to the ones you're going to see me work on today. Essentially, nothing has really changed. We are still multiplying fractions, but what we're looking at now is using an area model to help us kind of understand what we're doing. So let me pop this bad boy out. Basically what we're saying here is I have one whole shape here that is 1 foot by 1 foot. So this is my entire hole, and I've broken that hole up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5/5, and then I've broken it up and down or vertically into fourths. So I am basically going to be shading in 1/5 of my shape, and then I shade in 1/4 of my shape, and I look for the overlap, which you'll notice is that blue section right in here. And we are trying to figure out what volume of this entire single shape is that blue piece. And we know from, or not volume, sorry, what area this blue section is. And we know that area is length times width. So if I look at my measurement here, I know I'm going to take 1/4 and times it by 1/5. And when I do that, 1 times 1, because remember, guys, it's numerator times numerator, is 1. 4 times 5 is 20. The answer should be 1/20. So I'll type in 1/20, and then I need to change that into square feet, because remember, today we're dealing with area. So everything in area is going to be in square units. We'll check our answer. We get a good job. As far as what needs to be done, needs to be written down in our notebook, you are quite simply doing this in your notebook. 1/4, taking that measurement, timesing it by 1/5, taking that measurement, and it's going to equal 1/20. And then you just need to make sure you have square feet selected as your unit. Let's take a look at the next one, and you'll see that the next few problems are going to be very, very similar. So again, I like popping this out only because it makes it a little bit bigger. It's easy for me to see. So here's my one whole shape. It's 1 yard by 1 yard. I've broken it up into tenths up and down, and I've shaded in 4 of those tenths. So all of this would be shaded in one color. And then I take a look at the thirds. So here's 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, and I've shaded in 1/3 of it in this color. And again, I am focused now on that measurement right there, that blue overlap section. Okay, so that's kind of where we're getting the 1/3 times 4/10, and that's the math that I'm going to do. 1/3 times 4/10 equals 1 times 4 is 4. 3 times 10 is 30. Now, 4/30 can be simplified, and that would basically come down to 2/15. I'm going to check right now to see if you need to put in 4/30, if that will work. So let's try that. 4/30. Envision's math should take it. You just have to remember that it is square yards because we're dealing with area, and area is always square units. We check our work. We get a fantastic. I'm going to try, well, I'll try another one to see if we can reduce it. So for you guys in my 5+ class, I would like you to reduce that fraction to simplest form. Let's go ahead and try another one. So here's one now. I've got 2/5 times 2/5. I don't think you need me to show you the blow up with the different colors on it. We're just going to multiply those two fractions. 2/5, my length, times my length, 2/5 times my width, 2/5. That equals 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 5 is 25. And I type 25, 4 25ths, and I change that to square inches. And I get an okay. So you guys are basically going to be doing problems very similar to this. You'll see here, here's another one. It's 5/6 times 2/3. This is one that we can try because this one we're going to try and simplify it now and see what happens. So I take my length, which is 5/6 centimeters, and I multiply it by my width, which is 2/3 centimeters, and I get 5 times 2 is 10, 6 times 3 is 18, and when I reduce that, I should get 5/9. So we're going to try and type that in and see if it accepts it. And it should, 5/9. And I change that to square centimeters, and I get a check answer, and I get a fantastic. So it will take both. It will take 10/18 and 5/9. If you're in my plus class, you have to do it simplified. Now, keep in mind, if you guys remember, we can simplify before we multiply. I look here, well, 5 can't go into 6 and 5 can't go into 3, but 2 can go into 6. So 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 6 3 times, and I multiply. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 times 3 is 9. And that's how we get 5/9 square centimeters. I want to caution you guys as you're working today to make sure you are following directions. Make sure you are writing every single thing down in your notebook. So as we move forward, now we have an area of a square. Well, if one side is 3/4, it would make sense that all sides are 3/4 since it is a square. So make sure you're reading carefully, especially when we get into these word problems. You need to make sure you show all your work. If you finish and finish early, you are working on Khan Academy. If you are not at 75%, if you are at 75%, you are going to do an assignment for me on Prodigy. All right. Have fun and have a great day.